You only feel real when you win. Not proud, not happy, real. But the win is the only thing that proves you will ever hear. So watch Isagi score. And don't watch the goal, watch his face, a second after. It isn't joy, it isn't relief. For about an hour, the noise in his head goes quiet, and he gets to feel like a person instead of question. Then the quiet wears off, and he needs it again. Blue Lock isn't selling you a striker, it's showing you a kid who found the one thing that makes the ache stop, and then built his entire self around never letting it stop. Barou looks like the opposite. He doesn't wait for permission to want the ball, he takes it and dares you to be offended. People call that arrogance. It isn't. It's someone who decided that his hunger doesn't owe anyone an apology, and honestly, for a while, that's the healthiest thing in the show. Most of us starve quietly and call it being humble. But here's the turn. Ego starts as a tool. It's the voice that says, you're allowed to take up space. The trouble is what it becomes when it's the only voice you trust. Ego stops asking what you want and starts asking what you're worth. And the second it does, winning stops being a choice. It becomes a feeding. Because an ego that needs to win isn't confidence. It's a mouth. And a mouth doesn't care what it eats. It'll eat your rest. It'll eat the people who love the unwinning version of you. It'll eat the person you were before anyone was keeping score. And you felt the changeover, even if you never named it. The room where you stopped asking honest questions because winning the room started mattering more than understanding it. The friendship that you quietly began to score, small betrayals, one at a time, each one paid for with a little more of you. Bachira talks about the monster inside him, like it's a gift, a wild, hungry thing that makes him play, and it is, right up until you ask the question that the show is too kind to say out loud. What happens when the monster runs out of the field? The ego that saved you, the one that got you off the bench, out of the small life, past everyone who overlooked you, that same ego does not switch off when you finally get somewhere safe. It doesn't know the word enough. It was never built to protect you. It was built to make you undeniable. So when there is no match left to win, it turns around and starts eating the person that it was supposed to protect. Nagi is the control group. All the talent, none of the hunger. So for a while, nothing eats him. He's bored, but not starving. And then Blue Lock installs the appetite. And you get to watch the exact moment that his gift becomes a need. That's the trade nobody warns you about. The drive that finally makes you dangerous is the same drive that will never let you rest. Now Rin is what that looks like with no off switch. He wins, and there's no landing, no exhale, just the next opponent he has to beat to stay real for one more day. He isn't chasing greatness, he's outrunning the moment that the scorecard goes dark. And he has to sit with whoever he is when nobody's clapping. And you know that feeling. The Sunday after the achievement. The quiet flat after the thing you bled for. The way the win stops counting almost the instant it's yours. And the hunger just repoints at the next thing. As if it was never about the thing at all. I know that feeling. To turn every achievement into a receipt. Something you can hold up to yourself at 2 a.m. and show it as proof that you're allowed to take up the room. I got good at collecting them, and I noticed something ugly. None of them ever stayed paid. The proof expired the moment I earned it. So I'd go on another and call that exhaustion discipline. And here's the part Blue Lock actually understands. Underneath all that aura, the win was never the problem. Wanting to be great isn't the wound. The wound is needing the win to feel real. Handing a right to exist to a scoreboard that will always, eventually, turn off. Look at Isagi in his sharpest moments, not scoring, studying. There's a version of him that plays because the game is the most alive he has ever felt, and another version that plays because he's terrified of who he is when it stops. Same kid, same talent, completely different hunger. One of them is fed by the game, and the other is being eaten by it. So the real question was never whether you have an ego. You need one. The question is, which one are you feeding? The one that says, I want this, or the one that says, without this, I am nothing. Because you can win every match you'll ever play and still lose the person that the winning was supposed to be for. So be honest with the part of you that only shows up when you're ahead. Where in your life do you only feel real when you win? And what happens to you in the silence right after? The scoreboard turns off, the hunger doesn't. And that's the part that no highlight reel will ever show you.